So Tribe, as a mother, I think it's is really important for us, especially with us women who have daughters, to learn that there are going to be things in life where our children will make mistakes. They will learn their own lessons. And here is why I'm talking about this. You know, a lot of times, growing up, my mother, she always, like my brothers, they could do more things than I could as a girl. That's because they always had this double standard that, oh, girls bring the problems home and this, that, and the other. No, as far as I'm concerned, they both create the same problems. It's called they can have babies, okay? You know, I always hated that. I could not stand that. And I still don't like that. And oftentimes, women will mistreat their daughters who was just out here learning, unfortunately, a hard lesson. Both of my daughters were 17 when they got pregnant, okay? And my oldest daughter, I'll never forget the very first time that I found out she was pregnant. And it was scary because, I didn't find out till my daughter was what? Wow, I think she was about 5, almost close to 6 months of her pregnancy. And I'll never forget going to work. And I was just in such disarray. And so some of my coworkers was like, "Tab, what's going on?" Because they, I'm always a pretty much a bubbly person, but they could tell and sense something was wrong. And I just started crying. And they're like, "What's going on?" And so I was telling them about how my daughter was pregnant. And they was like, "Tavis, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. It does happen. It's gonna be okay." And I'll never forget. I was just like so terrified. Like, how did I become a grandmother this young? I was in my mid 30s. So anyway, uh, I'll tell you this much. My ex-husband, he was so angry. You know, the rest of that pregnancy, even to almost like to when my granddaughter was born. What I did was I decided to just love her through it. I didn't when it came to my daughter, I did not treat her poorly. I just treated her with honestly more love. And it was so funny because as a mother and seeing your daughter in a space where they're trying to learn themselves and understand themselves, and you think you've done a good job, which I do believe I did a good job as a mom. It's just that they have to learn their own experiences. And as parents, there's no need for you to treat them even horribly. Like I saw one where some mothers, kick their daughters out and all of that. No, I think sometimes in the black community, we have a tendency of putting children out of our homes. If they're not, my thing is, if they're not a disruption, what are you putting them out for? Why are you giving them away to society like that? Which is insane to me. It doesn't make any sense. But what I did with my daughter, I told her, I said, "Listen, I understand that you are in this circumstance, and yeah, you're gonna raise your daughter, and not just that." I said, secondary schooling is still a must. You can still be a mother, still work full time, and still pursue your dreams. Let me tell you something. Like I told you, both of my daughters ended up having their babies at 17. My oldest daughter, both of them graduated high school, and they're great mothers. My oldest daughter, she has her degree in medical office administration. Or is it bill? No, I think it's medical billing and coding. Yeah, that's what it is. My other daughter, who was also 17 when she had hers, also graduated from high school. She graduated from Empire Beauty School, and Friday she started college for nursing. So my thing is this, and it's because I supported them. I helped both of my daughters with their children. Yeah, part of helping to raise them. No, they're raising them. I was a part of the village and being there when they need me. See, our children will make mistakes. They will veer off their own path, but this is their life and their path. But it's the lessons that they learn from them. They have to learn from those lessons. But to be a parent who would kick my child down, no, I uplifted my children. I wanted them to do better than what I did. Although I was 19 when I had my first, but they were 17. But one thing I appreciate is how they as mothers are raising their daughters, and they're doing things different from me. They're having more balance. They're making sure their children are emotionally intelligent and are able to communicate, and I help foster that with my grandchildren. I am teaching my grandchildren and my daughters also how to keep the door of communication open so that our children going forward, my grandchildren going forward, they won't be in a place where they feel like they need to hide, where they can't talk to their mothers. No, and that being emotionally intelligent and showing how to communicate and having a balance has been a difference in my own family. And not only this, I'm also doing this with my boyfriend and his family as well. It's all in how we communicate. He's the same way with his children. How he communicates with it. What, ain't no yelling and none of that shit. No, we ain't doing none of that. No. All that yelling, screaming, trying to intimidate, like how my mother did us, and his mom was. Our parents were a little similar in how they did their best, but that's how they were taught. But we're teaching our children even now. They're adults too. No. We're gonna discuss things. We're gonna talk about these things, and we're gonna reason. But our young daughters, oh, definitely, we're changing the way what that structure looks for our family going forward. Because I tell you, I'm gonna tell you this much: my grandkids won't be no teen parents. They won't be. These little girls they're so different and they're so wise. I never seen little kids so smart. And my grandkids are from 13 on down to 2 years old. And their personalities are just so interesting and amazing. Between the 13-year-old and a little 5-year-old, that little 5-year-old, she a Virgo. That little Virgo something else. But the Scorpio, who's 3, oh, she diabolical. She's something else. Now, let me tell you, I gotta share this with you too. When I met that granddaughter of mine who's the 3-year-old, the Scorpio, different experience I had ever experienced in my life. I met that baby soul. The way she looked at me and the way I looked at her, we had a meeting of I had never experienced that in my life, but with her. I said, oh yeah. And I have such a special relationship with her. She is amazing in every way, but honey, she be driving her mama crazy and I love it. But yeah, we have to, like I said, with our children will make mistakes, and it's up to us to uplift them and let them know, listen, yeah, you veered off your path, but you know what? You can get back on your path. It's up to you to learn the lesson, but I'm here to be of support as long as you're willing to, continue doing your work. And it can be done. And my daughters are a prime example. And I'm so proud of them. I really, truly am. I really am. Grateful every day. Later, y'all.